What's up, y'all? We're back after 3 weeks, according to our YouTube channel video postings.
Yes. So this is episode
Yeah,
17.
17, y'all.
Highly anticipated.
Yeah. Life be lifing, man. That's really all I can say to that. Good things too. It ain't always all bad when people say life be life. At least on our end, I can say.
Yeah.
You know, has been a lot of good things going on. Some challenges, of course, because that's life. But yeah, we back.
Yes, we're back.
We are back in this thing, man. Happy to be back. It feels good to be back. How you feeling?
Happy Father's Day.
It is Father's Day today. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Happy
you for that.
Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to you
Appreciate you.
for being an awesome father to Milan, for always being there for her. You can't tell Milan anything about her daddy. She gonna go to bat, stand 10 toes down for her daddy. And you only get that type of love from an active, loving father. And just being there from day one. And day one starts, I feel like, in pregnancy.
Yeah.
Just being there every step of the way. And Milan can never say she hasn't seen her daddy be in her life. So happy Father's Day, love.
Well, I thank you for that. I truly appreciate that. That has, I've been a dad now, like you said, if we're gonna start, since pregnancy, it's been like 6 years. I would
Mhm.
say a strong 6 years. Milan is 5.5, but you said it does start with pregnancy and stuff. So, I remember the moments you told me and how you told me.
Ah, that's funny.
That was a very, very funny moment. Because me just being very observant, Faith is she's a very creative woman, right? I'll say that. She tries her best to be very creative with things and with how she delivers news and just her, her just she loves to make memorable moments. That's what I would say. So I believe I will say, and she's even said this. I spoiled a memorable moment essentially. The reveal of her
Mhm.
being pregnant, just by me being nosy, if you will, and or observant. I don't know, but
Yeah, he pays attention to every detail.
I can't help it.
When I say every, he'll put a pencil a certain way, and if you move it, he gonna know.
I can't help it.
It's
I
like,
know.
did you move that pencil? Like, I didn't know it was that deep.
See, it sounds a little bit psychopathic when you say it. Sounds like I'm a psychopath a little bit.
There has been things that I've moved. You've been like, you moved that, didn't you? And it's
I
like,
mean, I don't know because it's just I can't help it. You talking about one thing in
zoom
particular.
in.
You talking about one thing in
Zoom
particular.
in.
You talking about one thing in particular, but yeah, you was meddling. You was meddling around and shouldn't have been meddling. Well, I ain't gonna say you should have been meddling, but yeah, I noticed. I noticed that one. Yeah, that's an
No, it
insider.
ain't even just one thing
But
though.
I know
He
what you
done,
talking about.
he's
You know what I'm talking
he
about.
pays very close attention to like just
I
every
got to
detail.
listen. I grew
Every
up.
detail.
I'm not saying I grew up in the dirt, in
He'll
the
see
watch your
a
back.
he'll see a napkin from Popeyes and it'd be like in the corner. He'd be like, "Oh, how was that Popeyes?
Like I ain't playing. Listen, man.
How was that Popeyes you had earlier?"
Look,
Like,
man. Look, I don't know. I'm like that. It is what it is. I'm like that with everybody. You can't really do too much around me without me noticing. Whether or not I'm gonna speak up on it, we'll live to see that. But anyway, back to the story
yeah.
about how
Nah.
I found out Faith was pregnant. So she grabbed a shoebox out of her closet and was taking it to the bathroom. I can't recall if I was sitting there playing the game, watching TV, or exactly what was going on.
No, you had just came back from
Uh
Culver's
huh.
and he did not have my sauce in the bag.
Yes. Okay, yeah. I didn't have your sauce.
Yeah, he didn't get
Mind
my
you, I
order.
walked to Culver's.
No, you didn't walk to Culver's. His cousin took him.
Are you sure I didn't walk?
You did not walk to no Culver's.
Okay.
You got dropped off.
Okay.
So you rode with your cousin. You was like, I checked the bag, babe. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Check the bag. There was not my sauce in there after he said he checked the bag.
I checked the bag.
Mind you, I'm pregnant. I'm very early pregnancy. Like, it was like, I ain't gonna lie, I found out like 2 days before. My miss period, like 2 days before, I was like supposed to have it.
So she
So
wasn't showing.
no,
It wasn't
I just
like
knew
a
what we was
bump.
doing
It wasn't nothing going on yet.
because Milan was planned.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing going on yet as far as like physical appearance.
No, I just wanted to be like, oh, let me see. And yep, sure enough. So I was like, at this point, I was probably like 2 tests in.
2 tests in. So she takes the
Yeah.
box to the bathroom, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, why are you taking a shoe box in the bathroom? And then it wasn't like it was a shoe that was worn all the time because it's like this shoe is like an older shoe. So it was like, why are you grabbing this old shoe box, bro? Like, why are you grabbing this shoe box? That was
Mhm.
all I said. Like, what's you grabbing those for?
And
And
it's like,
then
you know what? You already didn't get my sauce right
yeah,
after
so
you
she was
said you
like,
checked the bag, and I
she
was
was
just
over it at that point.
irritated.
Yep, she was
I was
cooked.
like,
It
you
was
know
over with.
what? Here, since you want to know so bad,
And I was like,
well, I
I was
gave
just
you the
astonished.
shoebox.
You gave me the shoebox,
Oh
and
yeah.
I opened it. I was like, "What's this?" And then I put it out. I said, "Oh, okay."
And then
Um,
you laid down on the bed.
yeah,
You just laid down. You know when you like fall onto the mattress,
yeah,
like face first.
yeah. And that's when it started for me. So I've been a dad that whole time, man, and I would say it's been an amazing journey. Shout out all the dads out there, the ones that are active, of course, because the active ones, I will say, get the appreciation and should get the appreciation and respect that is due onto us. You
I
know,
agree.
I feel like we
Mhm.
deserve that. So what I would like to say is every year we should see that more and more represented. It shouldn't be a representation of fathers being treated less as or less than when this time comes around. It should, if we're gonna take all these holidays and everything, seriously, or we're gonna promote and do all of this back and forth, Father's Day should be on that list as well.
Is he specifically talking about this list that he heard from this comedian? So y'all could go look it up too, y'all
I'm gonna
self.
drop the
I don't
video.
know
I
the
have to drop the video. In our original upload, we did indeed include the video. YouTube took it down for copyright reasons, but it's fine. So if you search this on YouTube, you'll find the actual video.
He said that Mother's Day is number 2 for the
Second to
holiday.
Christmas.
Yeah, so Christmas is the number 1 holiday. Mother's Day is number 2. And so I guess what the comedian said that
Father.
Jesus and the mothers,
Mm-hmm.
they get what the recognition
Yeah,
or
it's like
whatever
Jesus and the
whatnot.
mothers are top two. So
Oh
it's like,
yeah, and then Father's Day is number 36.
yeah, Father's Day is like so low on the list.
And
It's
who
like,
knew it was that many holidays?
yeah, it's like so low on the list. I could be over exaggerating that it's 36, but he said a very low number. And then he went on to say, like, Halloween is before Father's Day. Like people take Halloween or appreciate Halloween more seriously than Father's Day. So he was like, so you mean to tell me ghosts and goons and goblins are like more important than me as a father? Like that's crazy. So
Yeah.
I mean to just hear that type of thing and know that's the like notion and the respect that fathers get essentially is to just like not be treated as important sometimes. Yeah, man, just the guys should feel as important as the ladies. But two fellas, I think it's important for us too to let each other know, you know what I'm saying, that we are appreciative of just other dads being good dads too. So don't shy away if you know a dad, that's doing his thing, shout him out too. So yeah,
Why
happy
you
Father's
think
Day.
that is?
But I think what is why people.
Why the Father's Day is so low on the list.
I mean, I just feel like the one. Okay, now that I think more about it, I feel like it's just the importance for it as men. I guess I kind of feel like we're kind of at fault a little bit, but not really, because it's kind of like for the most part, men don't really celebrate or do much. When you look at the average guy, like the average guy, he may not be wanting to do much or go anywhere or celebrate, if you will. Like I got real close friends that these niggas don't really care about their birthday. Like it's like, bro, this is the day we're born. Like they don't even care if you tell them happy birthday or not, or they don't care to talk about it or not. So I think too it's from our end of just not really even demanding, if you will, like people to really care. Because then again, this we are again that generation of people who, for the most part, a lot of men in the generation are looked at as sassy for being more expressive about how they feel. So I feel like with the more expressive guys now, we're like stamping it, like and us being more active dads too. It's like give us our due diligence and respect too, bro, because we really out here, like we really like doing our dad thing for real, like providing, working, being hands on with our kids, all while working. So I don't know. I feel like sometimes it can just get disrespected, even by us just not demanding that respect, and then too, just the mindset and the notion of just mom being mom, like she brought the child into the world. So I feel like a lot of times that's attributed to automatically just being she's just top dog. Which don't get me wrong, moms are top dog, but it's like dad should be like right there.
Right.
Like dad, it should be mom, and then dad is like right there. It shouldn't be all of this mom, and then maybe we'll think about that. No, it should be mom and dad all in the same breath. Essentially, that's how I
Yeah.
feel. But that does come with again being an active father.
Yeah, because it's some mothers out there that are not active, and there are some fathers who have taken on the responsibility to be that sole caretaker of that said child. I know mothers that are living the life of like just no kids at all, and
With kids though.
yeah, with kids,
Yeah,
like
so
not here in the state of their child, or they're with their dad. So yeah, I agree. I feel like it should be right up there,
mhm.
like holiday wise. I just really wondered what you thought about that, with it being such a far distance in between.
Yeah, and then too, I just feel like dads get we can sometimes get the tough rap just for not really being the most likable in the house sometimes. I feel like dad a lot of times got to be the bad guy in the house. So I don't know. I feel like that too plays a part on the ranking. Like dad just having to be.
Because dad is like the disciplinarian.
Yeah, and I feel like that too can hinder a lot of like not just the children. It can be sometimes with the spouse too, because with the spouse or with the yeah, with your wife's being the feminine side, sometimes her not being able to fully understand like being the disciplinary as the dad, so she could sometimes with the kids even just be a little less supportive of dad's disciplinary actions, if you will, sometimes. So that kind of creates a divide a little bit within the home. It's like dad is just trying to be dad, but with mom not always supporting dad's disciplinary actions, now it looks like okay, the kid's gonna come more to mom because she's gonna be more understanding, and it's not gonna be like, oh no, dad is gonna be tougher about this. When in reality, people need a little bit of toughness,
Yeah, I agree.
you know?
It's a healthy
Yeah.
balance, because they say that the moms are the nurturers,
Mm-hmm.
and the dads are the disciplinarians,
Mm-hmm.
more of that tough love
Yeah.
everything.
So I find myself even battling with that as a dad with Milan because it's like she's a little girl. I don't want to be too hard,
Right.
but then again, I can't be too soft either. You know, so it's like
Right.
for me, I have to find that balance within all of that. It's like I want her to be respected by men and young boys, but I also want her to be able to be softer and feminine like you as well. Like so it's
Mhm.
like understanding like as a dad, you know, I play a very big role in how she should expect to be treated by a man. But when it comes to that softness that she needs and the you know, the femininity that she needs to have, that comes solely from you. Only you can provide that. But what I can provide, excuse me, her is, you know, that discipline to know like it's okay to be feminine, but it's also okay to stand 10 toes on what you believe and just not have a, you know, lay down and take whatever attitude. You know, not saying that a woman can't teach that, but I feel like when it's coming more from a dad and from a masculine source, I
Right.
feel like it's perceived in a way of like, yeah, now I have the ability as this young girl to go to these other guys and be like, yeah, no, I'm not
Right.
doing that. I'm not accepting you talking to me like that or treating me like that. I never seen my dad do that to my mom, or my dad never said that's how I should be treated. So if I'm not being treated at this standard, like my dad was showing me, or like my dad was telling me, then I'm not accepting that.
Yeah. So I was thinking about how you mentioned this before, how a lot of women aren't taught how to treat a man, right? So, seeing that you are an active, father, and you do have a daughter, she's growing up. What is it that you feel that women do need to know about how to treat a man? Because there are a lot of women, like you made this comment that men are is beating their head, is beating a little boy's head or a man's head or whatever and whatnot of how to treat a woman. That's just like always push. That's the narrative of you gotta treat a woman like this and like that to get the woman. But it's never like vice versa. That girl isn't taught how to treat a boy or how to encounter or how to treat them. I don't know. I made the comment that I could kind of see that it's not like I don't know heavily pushed or there's not like a lot of emphasis on it because I feel like a lot of girls for so much of their life are taught to stay away from boys because
That was that was kind of my point too. Like I didn't want to just I didn't want to interject, but that's what I was going with. It's like our view as boys was to like treat girls right. You don't want to do this to that. You don't want to treat a girl wrong like this. You don't want to treat a girl wrong like that. But again, the flip side of it was y'all just stay away from boys. Like don't be around boys. Don't talk to boys.
right.
So yeah, that's kind of I didn't want to make it seem like it was like something OC, but that's kind of where I was going with it.
Well,
It's like
yeah, that's
y'all
what
are
I'm
yeah,
saying though.
yeah.
But looking logically at the whole scenario and the whole picture, everyone eventually, God willing, is going to grow up. So
Mhm.
you still have to have these conversations with
Mhm.
these girls at some point. So seeing, you have a daughter and stuff, she's getting older. How would you go about that? Because yeah, you're a father. That's first and foremost, of course. Stay away from boys,
Right.
and everything. But you also have to healthily teach her, like,
Of course.
when that time comes, this is how you are to treat this individual.
Right. So, um,
Like, what do you think are important key points that you do want to push on how to treat, you know, a boy,
so
a male?
I would honestly say Milan is she's showing glimpses of that now. You know what I mean? Like Milan has graduated from K3 and K4, and I've seen the type of even smaller kid like these are kids, small kids. So I'm seeing how she's interacting with the males now, and it's reminiscent of myself vice versa. Like when I was a young boy, I'm seeing how Milan's reacting like with the younger boys, and it's kind of like how I was with the younger girls. It's like Milan is a very friendly child. She's very friendly. She's very loving. She's very caring, and she's very like if she likes you, she's gonna let you know she likes you. So I would say when it comes to like her and it comes to boys and all of that, I would just say Milan, be careful in the sense of how you talk to a boy. Be careful on the words you use. Be careful on, just how, serious you're willing to take a relationship. I would honestly tell Milan, take your time too. Feel these young men out, not physically, but listen to them, talk to them, and get a clear understanding. Because I feel like Milan, what I would pray and hope is that she has a good judgment of character. Like that when it comes to her time to date, that she knows like to look for certain things within a guy. And that's my job as her dad to show her that. Listen to how these guys talk, listen to who they hang around, listen to what their drive is, pay attention to them in school, look at how, they treat other people. But I would say again, the main things I would teach Milan about encountering the opposite sex is again, watch how you talk to them. Males are very we're masculine, but again, when it comes to feminine energy, believe it or not, the most masculine man taps into his feminine energy sometimes around other feminine, super feminine women. Like he can be very masculine and tough, but when you're around a feminine woman, you kind of you get to understand her. You become softer essentially as a man. You can still be a big dog, and she know that, but you kind of bring your walls down a little bit. So I would tell Milan to know that be a safe space. Be able when it comes to that point of view, being serious with the guy, be able to talk to him, be able to listen, be able to support and be able to stand behind and understand that um nobody's perfect, but if a person is willing to show you that they're giving you their best, just understand that that's what they're doing and believe that and just don't give up if it's not in your heart to give up. But again, if you're not being treated right, don't stand for no BS at the end of the day too. Like that's what I would say for Milan, really, because I feel like I would just have to. Time has to go on for me to see how Milan interacts, but I feel like she honestly has a good handle on it when it comes to how to treat a young guy.
Yeah, because I really just thought about that in this moment,
Mm.
that I feel like the opportunity is missed to have those real in depth conversations
Yep.
about how to treat the opposite sex for a girl, a little girl, or a girl, a young girl that is interested in the opposite sex because they're just taught to just
Stay
stay
away.
away, because of the fear of pregnancy. But I think it's weird because it takes two, and so that boy, like I feel like boys have a lot of more freedom in that realm. So I feel like with the freedom, it's just like boys are kind of just trained on how to go into that field because they just have so much freedom to even go out into that playing field of being able to pursue girls and date them and whatnot. Like it's not frowned upon. It's frowned upon a girl that same age doing that. Or
And truth be told, I'm not gonna be frowned upon when Milan comes to me today or comes to us today. I'm dead
not.
serious. I've said this. Like this ain't shocking. I've said that, like, because to be honest, like I said, I know who I am and the type of person I am. So I'm not gonna be shocked when my baby come to me and she talking about some she catching feelings and whatnot. Listen. All I can tell my baby girl is how to handle it, how to be, and what could happen and what could not happen. That's all I'm gonna be able to tell Milan. But when it comes to that time she ready to date, Y'all seen how Bad Boys was. Y'all, I got a couple of homies. We could pull the same real life Bad Boys skit off with Reggie. And Milan could have her Reggie. Like it could very well be like that. If y'all remember Bad Boys, y'all know the scene I'm talking about. I got a couple. We can do it deep too. I'm talking about all the guys, all the bros. We be just like that for Milan when she will have her day. Simple. So I ain't worried. I'm really not. I feel like again, Milan is a very special young lady. I love that girl to death. She's really made. She's the one that made me a dad. The only one that's made me a dad. So I believe that she'll be a great young lady, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
agree. I feel like she has good character and just she just finished off her K4 year
Hmm.
of school and she is a true leader. That's a lot her teacher shed light on when it came to Milan that she is a leader. Like she has that energy that will attract a crowd and she's able to lead. And I pray that she keeps that about herself, that individuality of just being able to still make the right choices and be able to just influence her peers around her. So even those when it does come upon that time that they recognize her energy, that she isn't naive, that she is an individual with a mind of her own,
Hmm.
that is such a strong energy that they wouldn't even try to play with her in any type of realm because they respect her for being who she is. And, you know, I feel like that speaks volumes. And that's why I'm not worried about her. Like what we instill in her being so young and just taking every moment that arises to just make it a life lesson for her and teach her. But yeah, I do feel it's important that, girls do know how to just communicate with the
Hmm.
opposite sex. It doesn't even have to be dating wise.
Yeah.
But I feel like having girls, we do need to do better with just equipping them on how to just engage with the opposite sex
Hmm.
because just telling them to stay away from them, then I feel like this gives that girl now an attitude to have towards the opposite sex. And I feel like that's where a lot of playing comes into play, like, ugh, get away from me, or whatnot, when it's just like they don't know how to gauge the situation because they've just been told their whole life stay away from them, like you
Hmm.
don't need to worry about that, you too young and whatnot, and woota woota. When it's like, okay, like, no, like you should
Uh,
talk with them like this and that,
yeah.
and just teach them those
Because don't get me
how
wrong,
to
like
navigate.
you pointed out something too that I don't want to be taken as for granted. You mentioned that a lot of young or mothers or parents would say to the young ladies, focus on school, focus on books, don't get distracted by these, opposites boys, basically, which I understand. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pro that. I'm all for everybody getting their education. I don't want young boys to just be running behind girls all day either, not focusing on education. I want everybody to be focused on
And vice
education.
versa,
You know what I mean? Yeah, I
girls
want
just running
everybody.
after
Yeah, I don't
boys.
want
And
nobody running after nobody to, not focus on your education. But when it comes to that point of like everybody gonna date possibly. So when it comes to the dating realm, just knowing how to treat the opposite sex is important. Like that should be something that's taught at home. And then, just stay in school majority of the time anyway, that should be taught in school. It should be a simple some way to interact with the opposite sex other than just run away, stay away. You treat this one right, but you run away from the other one. It
so
makes
then
for stupidity.
you think that that lesson should really come from the dad then, like talking to the girl, because I feel like the dad would have a better point of view on how to.
I think it'll be a good combination of both. But that comes to the point of not everybody having that two parent household, that luxury of
Right.
that. So if, in a perfect world, yeah, you would have both parents in everybody's ear,
Yeah.
because both parents are needed,
You can
father and
always get
mother.
a figure.
Yeah,
Like,
but if you don't got that, it's like,
well, yeah, of course.
you do need both. That's what I'm saying. You need
Yeah.
a father figure, a mother figure. You need both, ideally.
Well, that's
You
where
can
that village
thrive.
comes
Yeah,
into
yeah, yeah, for
place,
sure.
that we all need
Yeah.
individuals. And I was just looking at a video the other day, an Instagram video, where this man was talking with his daughter, and his daughter is grown, but the daughter, her parents are married, and the father was just talking to the daughter. The daughter was just asking him questions, and she asked a question about just basically, how do you get through, like basically how you communicate, and how they've stayed together so long, like being married, the wife and the
Well,
husband. And yeah, he said he didn't have a dad. And she said, how do you like navigate like being a father, not having a dad? And he said, you should always have someone in your life that you can look up to. So that's where I get that. You need a village. You need a
mhm.
community of people. Find you someone that has good morals, that has good character. That if you don't have that in your close circle, you need to just reevaluate your circle, especially when you're raising the next generation. You need to, if you don't, you knew you grew up, you didn't have the best role models, you didn't have the best character instilled in you and whatnot, don't use that as an excuse per se. Be better than that and find somebody that can pour into you, he basically said. And I felt like that was a good takeaway from that video. Because yeah, like he said, he didn't have a father, but he's like clearly being a good father to his family. And he said, I wanted to change that narrative. Regardless of what I had, I know I could be better. And it's better out there to learn from. So just to find that better, there's avenues out here. And it's like, take advantage of them. Don't use your situation as your excuse. Like, use that as your motivator, essentially.
That's dope. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
parenting is it's a journey, but it's one that I think we're rocking very well. We're doing parenting right. We we always have the 5.5 years she's been here. I'm proud to say that. And those that are watching, those that know us, can attest to this. We do our damn best with parenting Milan. We do a damn good job.
I agree. First and foremost, keeping her connected to God,
Amen.
because that's the one who is helping navigate us through parenthood. You know, He gave her to us, and we gave her back to Him, because we know that she needs to know the Creator and who's going to help her navigate this world. We don't know how long we're going to be here, but this time that we are here, we're using it to instill as much knowledge into her as possible. A lot of people say she done been here before. She's somebody just said that, like, literally like last week, like she been here before. Like, that's just her character, her personality. But this is who God blessed us with. Like, the fact, I was just thinking about how you said Milan was born, she didn't cry.
She did.
I just
I
really
was
kind of
there.
discovered that. And
I
like
was
I
right
said,
there.
she's 5.5.
I was right there. I
And
seen it. Milan did not
I
cry.
had a C-section, so I was kind of out of it. I
I
was
was
up,
there.
but it was just like a lot
I
going
watched it. They
on.
had to make her cry to make sure she was good. But
Yeah.
Milan did not cry. They was like, she's out. Like, okay. And it was like, they
Nothing
did
was
they
wrong
yeah,
with
they
her
was
or
like,
nothing. Like,
I think
she,
they pinched her, they pinched her foot or her butt or something. And then she started to like cry. But they were like, yeah, we had to make sure she was good and make sure she can feel and make sure everything was fine. Cause she came out and making no sounds. She was just
yeah.
like,
He said she was just looking
yeah,
at
she was just like looking. It was like, damn, like she's here.
her.
But yeah, man,
She's
she's a
very
blessing.
bright.
Yeah, she's that one for
Yeah,
sure.
very cool. She's
Mm-hmm.
very different. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just making sure we take advantage of that. And like I said, keeping God first. And yeah, parenthood, it ain't for the
It
weak.
ain't for the weak now.
But we're a team first and foremost.
Facts. You
And
need a team.
we have to come together, and we always make sure we come together when it comes to her and whatever we do to in decision making with her.
For sure.
So yeah, we do blood, sweat, and tears go into parenting
It ain't
her.
no light stuff
We
over
don't
here.
take it lightly at all, because you only get one chance. You can't go back to when she was one, two, three, four. Whatever you did, you gotta sit in that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know you did the best, then you can rest assured of that. Because God willing, one day she gonna grow up. She gonna look behind and be like, I had some great parents.
Yeah, that's the goal. As long as she know that, the fact she tell me I love you every night,
Mhm.
sweet dreams from God, Dad. She tells me that. It went from us telling her that before she could even talk to her
Mhm.
telling us that now. So we doing a good job, man. And to all the parents out there, keep doing a great job. To all the
Keep
dads out
being
there,
great.
keep doing a great job. To all the moms
Keep
out
being
there,
great.
keep doing a good job. Happy Father's
Great.
Day 2025. CarVett Convos. We didn't even talk about that's what we were doing,
Yeah.
but we got
CarVett
straight into it because
Convos.
it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah,
You know, we got to
episode
stop doing that.
17.
Episode 17, CarVett Convos, of course. Thank y'all for tapping in. We gonna keep it coming. We gonna stay
We
consistent,
still
y'all.
here with
We
we
ain't going
still
nowhere.
here,
We
y'all.
ain't going nowhere. We've been doing a lot of things
So
too. Like, don't trip. We've been active while not active.
yeah, see, we added some.
Shout
This
out the
is
homie Yaye. He made
yeah,
this. He
this is
wrote. He drew
nice.
this, and then we also picture. You know what I mean? We doing it. We upgrading. We adding to it. But y'all stay tapping in, man. Stay dropping those likes, those comments, subscribing, all of that, sharing, all of that.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Viewers, topics, bring those in, all of that. We need that. We
yes.
ain't going nowhere. We might be slow, but we ain't gone.
We still here.
You
We
know what I
still
mean?
rocking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, stop playing.
always,
We ain't playing.
always,
Come on, twin. We
always.
ain't playing, twin. We is not playing around this. Y'all almost made me tweak out. I have to stop.
But yeah, this is episode 17. Just speaking up on parenting life. How it's been these last few weeks. We still around, tap in. It's almost the summer season. Oh yeah, and it's Juneteenth this week.
Juneteenth. I was just gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Happy Juneteenth. Shout out to all my black
Shout
people
out
out
to
there.
the
414. Y'all know how we
darks,
put on for
lights,
Juneteenth. One of the
browns,
biggest celebrations
light
in the
skins.
country, and we
All that.
partnering up with Summerfest. Taste the Juneteenth. If y'all gonna
Mm-hmm.
go down June 21st,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah. Bring
support
two hundred dollars. Two hundred
an
dollars.
extension of the
But
celebration. Cause you
yeah.
know what, like y'all turn up for the 4th. Let's turn up for
Come on, drop
Juneteenth.
that bag and pull up at
Juneteenth.
Summerfest.
Yeah, let's be out here with our grills. Let's
Come
be out
on.
here with our music.
Loud and
Let's be out here
proud.
with our
Come
colors,
on.
Like y'all wear the red, white,
White
and
and
blue.
blue.
Well, let's put on the
Come
green,
on.
the
Come
red,
on.
the
Come
black. Let's
on.
be out here in our let's be black AF.
Let's be black than a mother.
Yeah.
Blacker than your mother. No cap.
Do it. Put on for your ancestors. Put on
Yeah,
for your
man.
people
Yeah.
now.
Shout out Martin
Put
Luther
on for the
King
future to come.
and Malcolm
Yeah.
X and all of the greats.
Yeah.
Rosa Parks.
All the
Harriet
people.
Tubman.
We the creators
Marcus
of
Garvey.
everything pretty much. So,
Lionel Richie. All of them.
yeah.
Everybody.
Ray Charles,
Ray Charles.
James Brown,
James Brown. Michael Jordan. Michael Jackson.
Arthur.
Yep,
Yeah.
you sounding out at that one. Love, peace, and hair grease. CarVett Combos.